Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate, have a $6 million net worth, and have real estate that cash flow $10,000 a month net. So I had a great question in the comments in response to one of the videos I did of my fiance in finances, and I was asking about how did I establish taking turns in terms of paying for dates and stuff. And did it happen naturally or did I raise the topic? So when I first started dating my girlfriend, now fiance, back during COVID in 2020, July 2020 is when we became official. Basically, I would pay for the first date and then she'd pay for the second date. I pay for the third, she paid for the fourth, pay for the fifth, she paid for the sixth. And I didn't really raise a topic. I think we just kind of organically just paid for it and knew. We didn't really look at the amount. Like, I didn't care if my bill was like, let's say 300 and hers was like 100. But it was just the concept of, taking turns to pay. Like, I didn't really raise a topic. For me, I don't really track it, but it starts to become a little bit annoying, especially initial dating. But I mean, I think with her, I knew it was going to be pretty serious. But like, if it's not as serious, you want to see some reciprocity, at least for me, because you want to know that they kind of have some skin in the game too. Because I've been like on dates where, you pay for all the dates and all of a sudden they just ghost you, right? And then you kind of feel like, okay, well, like you feel like you kind of lost a little bit money as well as emotionally. But with her, she just organically, just paid, she makes good money herself. Like, we're both pharmacists. And I think she just wanted to be equal, but obviously it is nice, like when the guy pays, right? That's kind of the more old school traditional, like no girl would be opposed to guy paying, but I think maybe in modern dating, maybe sometimes girls, because like I said, they make their own money now, and they don't want to feel like they owe a guy debt, so they don't mind paying or taking turns. So it wasn't something that like I brought up like, are you gonna pay? Like, no, I just would have paid and continue to pay just because I really enjoyed hanging out with her, getting to know her, and just doing new things with her, right? And I guess it worked out for me because she's my fiance, soon to be wife in March of next year. So didn't really bring it up. I think to me that kind of signifies a higher quality woman, and especially like for me, I owned, like when I first started dating her, like in 2020, I owned 3 single family homes at that time. And I think by 2020, I owned about 3 single family homes. And then while I was dating her, I basically bought a single family home in California, a single family home in Huntsville, Alabama, my 26 unit apartment complex, my 20 unit in my mobile home park, right? And built up my net worth to like, 6 million where it's today. But even back in 2020, I don't know my exact net worth because I wasn't really tracking back then. But I would say I probably cleared $1 million to maybe $2 million at that point because I owned 3 single family homes. But for me, it was just kind of like, all right, like she knew I own real estate. So it's just like, okay, what's the intention, right? Like that's kind of the guy's greatest fear, or anyone's fear if you have more wealth than your partner. So yeah, that was kind of something that like was refreshing for me. But like you said, now like when we go out, like I pay for most of the stuff now. To be honest, I do make more. When we were living together in Santa Monica, like I was paying all the rent for the studio. Like I was just living there, and then she joined me later, and I didn't like ask her to split 50-50. I just paid for it because I was like, well, I'm living here anyways, like. And it's nice to have her there, obviously. And like I said, it worked out. And then, we were able to save up money to basically eventually buy this house, which we own together. So the next question that kind of segues into this is a popular question was prenup, right? So are we getting a prenuptial agreement? And, we did bring up the topic. And for me, so I'll share my viewpoint and then her viewpoint. For her viewpoint, Christine actually doesn't believe in the prenuptial agreement. She thinks that when she gets married, it's forever, and basically thinks that if you have a prenuptial agreement, it's setting yourself up for divorce, right? So she has a more emotional aspect towards a prenuptial agreement versus me. I think of it more as like a business transaction. Like for me, like obviously I'm not by signing the prenuptial agreement, I'm not saying, hey, I'm having an exit plan. It's just more of like, well, if it doesn't work out, because unfortunately in America, like, I don't know what the divorce rate is, but I think it's 1 or 2 people divorce. So like, if you went to 5 weddings, good chance that half of them will end up in divorce. And you want, when divorce happens, it's very stressful, a lot of spite, a lot of pettiness. And my parents went through a divorce, which I thought was pretty amicable. But there's divorces that are very nasty, right? You heard all the horror stories. So obviously it would hurt. Like, let's just say, like I said, I'm worth $6 million, and she's worth a pretty decent amount, like even for herself and her age, but not 6 million level, right? So like if divorce happens, I basically would lose half my net worth. And so for me, I'm like, well, it's nice setting a precedence. Like, okay, whatever we had coming in is ours, and then whatever we built together gets split up 50-50, and then obviously like that. But that's kind of the logical end of myself, right? Because if we don't draft the prenuptial agreement, then we're abiding by the California law. So if you don't have a prenup, you're defaulting to whatever the state of California is, and I think it's a very generous state in terms of divorces, in terms of like just splitting everything. And so for me, I just thought like, okay, well, if you look at it at a high level, it's like, okay, well, I'm worth 6 million. She's not worth 6 million, obviously. So I would get the short end of the stick. But as I've kind of, from 2020 to today, like, my fiance, Christine, she's been there with me throughout the whole time. She was there when I joined a mentorship. She was there when I bought my 26 unit, when I bought my 20 unit, when I bought my mobile home park, when I sold my mobile home park, when I stabilized all my apartments, and I hit rock bottom, right? Basically, like last year, I think roughly like June of like 2024 was when I was like, or 2023 was when I was like rock bottom, and she was there. She helped support me emotionally, mentally, physically, helped make things easier for me. In terms of like, helping prepare food, helping groceries, clean up, just make sure like I'm healthy and in the right mindset. So like, to be honest, I don't think I could have bought all that real estate if it wasn't for her support. So even though she didn't put money into the deals, I feel like she went along the journey with me, because she had to follow the emotional roller coaster that is buying real estate, that is entrepreneurship, right? So even though, like I said, she didn't financially put money in the deals, but she emotionally supported me. She spiritually supported me, made sure that I was healthy, made sure that I ate properly, made sure that I exercised, made sure that, just helped out in little things here and there for me. So like I said, I wouldn't have been able to handle all that stress, all that real estate by myself. So even though, like I said, she didn't help me financially, I think thanks to her, I was able to stabilize this 52 unit real estate portfolio, to be able to build wealth, to have the correct mindset to get to where I am, right? So like, that's why to me, like, if she doesn't want to sign the prenup, then I would be okay with it, because in my mind, I'm like, well, if it wasn't for you, I would have not built up this wealth anyways. Like, you helped. I mean, I did build up a decent net worth, but that was what I went through with all the apartments was next level. So like, to me, I'm like, okay, well, in that case, I think you deserve half of like what I have coming in. And to be honest, like, once we're married, legally, like we're still going to build wealth together, right? So like, even like if it's going to be a drop in the bucket relative to what we're going to be able to build together, right? Because I think it takes a strong team. The quote is true: behind every strong man is a greater woman. Like, I firmly believe that, because if my mindset's not correct, then I cannot handle all the stress and all the ups and downs of owning real estate and entrepreneurship. So if someone says otherwise, I would completely disagree. Like, it really takes a strong woman to help a man achieve his goals, right? Like, that's why there's yin and yang, and there's 2 parts. So like I said, I don't think I would have been able to buy all that real estate if it wasn't for her and her guidance. And as we went through this real estate journey together, we gained a lot of clarity about what we want to do. Like, for me, I learned that, wow, like, I don't need to go as fast as I thought I need to go. I learned that don't have shiny object syndrome. I learned that, slow and steady wins the race, because my fiance, she's like so like zen and like stress free, and like she just can see like the big picture in terms of like, health, happiness, and the simplicity in life. Well, I'm so like money focused, right? Where I did compromise my health a little bit during this journey, and my other aspects of life, right? So yeah, like you said, I don't know how it's gonna pan out, but like I said, given that my fiance doesn't really believe in the prenup, and I do think that me and my fiance are so aligned, and what we do, and like I said, I think we're gonna build even more wealth together. Once we have double income, and obviously we're gonna become real estate. I'm gonna become a real estate broker. She's gonna become a real estate agent underneath me. Like how that's gonna look. Hoping to grow my coaching and mentorship business. Hoping to grow my YouTube channel. So like she's been going along the whole way. And supporting me with everything I'm doing. So hopefully this answers your question after such a long time. I know I had like 5-6 comments asking about the prenuptial agreement. So hopefully this answers it from my perspective. Anyways, if you're looking to buy some multifamily real estate with some guidance, check out the mentorship program. Otherwise, please let me know what questions you have. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.